any case, more comfortable condition for you is more important than small noise.
No, I will. So you don't hear any noise. That's good. So it means I'm filtering. There is already a noise filter.
Mm, not bad.
So noise filter, I think, will, and so you will come to know when you listen to it. So now you have an understanding. We are starting the chapter number 4. So you have understood with a clarity, and it is easy for you to do your daily activities in profession, in personal life, in family life, social life, karma.
Yes, I trying to do it without any reaction and with proposing it to Shiva.
That's good. That's good.
Guruji, may I ask
Yeah.
simple question?
Yeah.
So when we are doing the breathing practice, for example, or other practice, so we really work only with our mind, but our mind is just interpretation of information from the sense organ. So we just changing this kind of interpretation.
So we are, by the breathing practice, we bring about a temporary change in the brain and the mind. It is not a permanent change. We purify the mind, but without knowledge, the ultimate ignorance cannot be removed. Remember, breathing is an action. What is the opposite of action is inaction. What is the goal of Eastern wisdom? To remove the ignorance. What is the opposite of ignorance? Knowledge. So the
Yes.
opposite of action cannot be knowledge. But if the mind is not purified, the intellect does not live in the highest state of viveka. Why? Because of the impressions. So, do all these practices, no problem. We continue these practices. The time comes when you will experience, without even breathing practice, your mind stays in that state. So we are following the twofold practice. We are putting the knowledge, we are raising our level of self-awareness so that we can live into the state of viveka and vairagya, performing all our actions without ego and without you see the entire mathematical equation, you can do it. So the time comes, I enjoy doing it. Now I am not doing it with a particular motivation. Or I may be doing it for the sake of body, but not for the sake of evolving, rising in consciousness. No. Why? Because you already live into that state. Now you already live into that state. But for the sake of our body, for the sake of keeping the organs in right functioning, okay. Now it's totally secondary level. So whether we do mantra, whether we do breathing, whether we do any tantra practice, whether we do any imagination or visualization, it is we should be doing it. We should be doing it. But gradually the time comes, intellect lives into the highest state of discernment. What happens then? You start living in meditative state 24/7. You had $1 billion in bank account, so your mind never says when you wake up tomorrow in the morning that you are not a billionaire. You are. You have it. You possess it. You own it. So your mind owns that peace, happiness, love, wisdom. So the mind is asking why you are doing. So mind becomes clear, oh, let us do it for the sake of doing. Let that state come. But until then we have to do it. So you see that the key of the Karma Yoga, through our understanding, is the union of two powers. There is a power of equality. Now see, I'm linking it. That is the beauty of Krishna. Power of equality and power of oneness. What is this? So when you drop, now see the beauty, what happens. So when you perform the Karma Yoga without seeking the desire for fruits of an action, it will bring equality in the mind, equanimity. And Krishna says equanimity is yoga. Now what is the ultimate goal of dropping the idea of a selfishness? Selfishness means desiring the fruits of an action. My mind now moves with unselfishness, selflessness. A sense of equality, equanimity comes in day-to-day activities, in day-to-day perception, in day-to-day life. And the power of oneness comes when I drop my ego. Ego divides me. Isn't it magic that Krishna says, first he says, do this, do this, do this. Nitya karma, yajna. Huh? The entire world outside, we have a very intimate relationship with the world outside, what is known as Prakriti. Understand, you see that clear understanding. So now what happens, you have a freedom, now you have equality, and you have, now you don't see, your mind totally stops seeing. If a person doesn't have a money, you don't find any difference. A sense of oneness is there. Not as smart as you, you don't feel that sense of difference, because ego is not there. But at the level of the world outside, you deal with the people as it is needed. So one woman is your wife, it doesn't mean all women is your wife. That is not equality. You see that sometimes people ask me crazy questions. I know they are not seekers, so that's why they have these opinions. So I said one woman is your mother, so everyone is your mother, including your wife. What is your answer? So understand, power of oneness. I feel I'm with you. I am you. Power of oneness. And power of equality, equanimity. So what happens to your will now? You recognize this real will is the will of the real self. The real will is not the will of the ego. Did you get it? Because without will I do not perform any action. So the action must have a motivation. So the motivation must have a willpower. So now this willpower is not controlled by the ego, not controlled by the fruits of the action. So you may have a glimpse during the day when you are performing the nitya karma and the yajna. Oh, you will see, oh, what a beauty. I didn't do anything and it has been done. What that means? there is an inner awakening. That real self brought the will that this work should be done for the sake of doing. The will in the mind is not independent. The will of the real self is always independent. It does not have ego, it is not seeking any fruits of an action. The will of the mind and the intellect is always guided by the ego and the desire. So it depends on the desire. And desire is projecting the happiness outside. Happiness is not there, so I fall into delusion. And that delusion leads me to delusion rather than dispassion. Delusion leads me to depression, then dispassion. Are you getting it? So what happens? This is what we say a divine will.
I get in it, but when I try and, for example, I have desire to work in the business, to get the money, and I
convert into nitya karma. First. Second, your business is doing the yajna in the world. Second, now apply the will. See what happens.
Yes, this desire is...
You are feeling hungry, that is also a desire, my friend. Compare it with the business. You want money, that is also a desire. But what you did, what we understood about rati, tripti. If the food is available, what I like, I will take it. But if other food is available, I will take it without any preferences. Why? I understand eat to live, live to eat. Now, apply the same principle to our doing the business. Doing the business. Why we pay too much attention to the money that is tushti, and why we have understood it clearly, the word tripti. Both are same. That is why I started power of equality, power of oneness. So I have given little more value to the wealth than to the food. I have given little more value to the sexual desire than to the money, etc. No, don't give an added value which is not there. Subconsciously, after all, you also plan, your mind triggers you. I'm hungry, let me go to the kitchen and eat food. Let me go to the office and do my business. Mind still is giving little more value which is not present in the wealth. That is why you are asking this question to me. Going to the restroom, you have given the value it deserves. There is no ego, there is no fruits of an action. You go there, you empty your bladder, you come back, mind is clear, equality is there before, during and after. The power of equality is settled in the mind. So you have to use little intellect, couple of thoughts, couple of planning. You have to throw it into the prakriti, like you empty the bladder. That is doing the business. Are you getting it? Be very clear. Take the word lightly. I have been saying you. Business is one part of the word. Take the word lightly. You will see, oh my goodness, how easy it is to do the business. You will be more focused. You will have more projects in your head, and you throw it out. Where you throw it out? In the prakriti. In that Prakriti, one smaller part is your business. Power of equality, power of oneness. Don't give added value. Don't give value that it does not deserve. See other part. See, be very clear. You're going to the restroom. You keep your sense organs intact. You use the body. You use the mind. You use your intellect. Because that choose, you are not going to the kitchen, you are going to the restroom. Tell me what extra you are using in business.
No, it is the same.
Why to worry?
Yeah, I take resources from outside, do something, and send back to our.
You see the same thing. Eating, entering into the sexual pleasure, walking, going to the restroom, doing the business. So what happens? A sense of equality is settled into your mind. Oh, mind says, okay, I'm using my self-intellect. Ideas are different, words are different, but it is the same body, sense organ, motor organ, walking, driving, same thing. Mind has unnecessarily created giving added values to these activities. I told you the last time, this young guy like you, he says, should I take vaccine or not? I'm giving an added value to my opinion. And that opinion comes from the Trump. The Trump is misguiding. For example, or not, I don't know. So I said, do you have intellect? Yes. I said, tell me what is the difference between an opinion and a knowledge. So on Saturday he came and he whispered in my ears, I have taken a vaccine. I said, very good. It will help you, not me. It will help you, not. So he looked at me, what? I said, yes. You did the right job. You took the decision based on the knowledge. Now apply the knowledge. I am using the same sense organ, I am using the same body, I am using the same mind. Thoughts are different. In the business, in going to the restroom, thoughts are different. Instruments are the same. Eating the food, instruments are the same. So when I superimpose an intention, that becomes an ego. So my will does not become independent, because mind is still seeking something. You know, in science we say how much you are happy in the score of 1 to 10. Don't give any value. I give 10 and I give 1. So I am already differentiating, giving a value. No, what value it deserves, I give it. So the divine will flow from your mind, and divine will is totally independent. Because it is independent, you are doing your business with that in divine will that is independent. You will definitely be benefited more than by the dependent will of the mind. But it does not mean that you start thinking in that way. If you start thinking in that way, then ego again comes. So that is why we give every principle bit by bit. So now you understand that, oh, let everything goes to the God and the goddess Kali, okay. So why we say like this? Understand this, every being gives and receives. We have a relationship with the universe outside and as an individual. There is always a give and receive relationship. If the Prakriti says from today I will not allow you to throw the waste product from the body and then see what happens. It's always a give and receive relationship. We don't recognize, we are not aware of it. I don't thank God that going to the restroom is again going back to the Prakriti. Recycling, cycle, yajna is happening. Sometimes we have constipation, so sometimes we lose money, sometimes we don't get the benefit we desire. It's okay. It's a part of the universe. Let me continue to work. You see constipation related to your loss in the business. It happens. You know, these two young guys, they are millionaires. They said, now we will do it together. So we will pay you 50%. I said, no, you have to pay me 75%. So now give and receive relationship is broken. Now see that? So it is broken on their part, so they have to suffer. Why should I say? They both have different temperament, they both have different problems, and I have to personalize the practice. But they are not listening to it. I have told them hundreds of times. I'm okay. I said, I'm okay. Are you okay? I said, I'm 100% okay.
But give and receive relationship, it's part of Prakriti, so it's a side of the real self.
Give and receive is a part of the Prakriti. It is apparent real self. The real self is becoming Prakriti to exchange in order to evolve. Did you get it? Prakriti was there, I was not there. What Prakriti did first? Prakriti created all the non-living beings. Then it created the life where we say the plant kingdom. Do I have any role?
No.
Then plant kingdom evolved. Prakriti always wants to progress, to evolve, to rise above. Matter, living or non-living beings, no consciousness. Plant kingdom, life, but there is a glimpse of consciousness. Animal being, matter is there, life is there, animal consciousness is there. Human being, it is the credit of the Prakriti. Human being. So, is the Prakriti helping to rise, to evolve, to progress? Yes. From matter to plant kingdom to animal kingdom to human being. What is the next? To find the real self. So we follow the Prakriti. Let me be the part of the Prakriti. Let me tune myself so that this Prakriti will help me to evolve into the real self. Once I evolve into the real self, then your statement comes. Now, from the real self, from the standpoint of the real self, I see I am becoming everything. I am becoming matter. I am becoming mind. I am becoming every object and thing in the world. I continue to live in the timelessness and spacelessness inside. Then what happens? The time comes in the timelessness, space comes in the spacelessness, Taurus comes in the objectlessness. Inside objectlessness, that perceives we two are one, but outside it is becoming process. That is what the awakening is. Prakriti is doing, after all, it created me and you as an individual human being. Physical role is there of my parents. After that, all the role is taken over by the Prakriti and I don't realize. Let me realize it. Let me be with it. Let me tune myself. If the Prakriti is evolving from the matter to the plant kingdom, it is a tremendous evolution. Do you see that? From the plant kingdom to the animal kingdom, it is a tremendous evolution. From the animal kingdom to the human being, it is a tremendous evolution. And Prakriti has taken billions of years. What is yoga? Yoga is compressing billions of years of evolution in a single year, in a single life, or few months or few hours of our ignorant existence. It can happen in few hours, it can happen in few weeks, it can happen in few months, it can happen in few years, it can happen in the single life. We are not waiting for billions of years of evolution. Prakriti is doing it. By maybe a billion of the birth after, we are awakened. But until then, we are suffering, we have fear, we have insecurity. We will continue to pass through all those. You see the importance of yajna? To be in tune with the nature. Crush your mind when you are going to business. Think, contemplate and reflect before you take a step in driving to your business. This is what I'm going to do. Let me compare it with going to the restroom. Prakriti is using Prakriti, body, mind, breath, intellect, ego, thought, all belongs to Prakriti. Why I own it? The moment I own it, I am giving more value. When I give more value, the desire for the fruits of an action, the delusion will come and the ego will come. I don't have an independent will. I don't allow the will of the real self to work on the Prakriti. To summarize in one line, scientifically, it will give you a glimpse. I think you will remember I have given you that word. As long as the brain is using the consciousness, you will have an ego, you will have a desire for the fruits of an action, you will always feel limited, you will have fear, you will have fearlessness. Reverse the process. Let the consciousness use the brain as an instrument, you are done. Whatever I have explained for half an hour, this is the summary. Through contemplation and reflection, find out brain is using the consciousness or consciousness is using the brain. When the consciousness is using the brain, it is independent. There is a power of equality and there is a power of oneness because consciousness is one. It cannot be two. Do we have two consciousnesses?
No.
Do we have two brain? Yes. This is the answer, simple answer. We have many minds? Yes. There is one consciousness? Yes. So when the consciousness is manifesting through your brain, consciousness is manifesting through my brain, brain is using the consciousness in a limited way in my life, limited way in your life. That is why yajna. Tuning. Because we live at a higher level of self-awareness, my friend, that is why we can see them, we can see the difference, we can see the fear and insecurity. Animals are living at a low level of self-awareness. They may be more intelligent than us. So being intelligent is one thing, living at low level of self-awareness and higher level of self-awareness is different. Give the same self-awareness to the tiger. Tiger is now more powerful, plus higher level of self-awareness. So what the tiger will do? The tiger will see me objectively. Like an FBI, they will spy on me. When I go out of the house, when I go inside, there is no way I can break the door. But now I understand, when he comes outside, then I will kill him and eat him. You see, the entire process of self-awareness does this thing. Tiger doesn't have this. Okay, tiger does not live into the higher self-awareness. If the tiger lives and there is a total dryness in the forest, there is no rain, but still they see some fruits, they will say, okay, I can meet my hunger by the fruit. That's what we are doing. That's why we have a pasta, or we have a beef, or we have chicken, or we have the eggs, we have the vegetables. So forget about fighting, I am a vegetarian, I am a non-vegetarian. You are crazy. You are not using the self-awareness, understanding the basic principle. Yes, it's a different matter. If you are eating something that is causing the problem into your digestive system, leave it. Again, it's a matter of self-awareness. Where is the problem of these differences comes? So, brain using the consciousness, consciousness using the brain. The entire chapter is based on this thing. And it opens up, it gives you a detailed understanding. Once you have a right knowledge of every action, then what happens? Equality, power of equality, power of dispassion, power of oneness. Ego is not there. Result is oneness. Do I feel a sense of oneness with you? Yes. Am I teaching you as if I know that you already have that knowledge? Yes. Power of oneness is there. So that is why we differentiate between the teacher and the guru. Guru means the guru always perceives every seeker is equally the same like the individual here. So what the teacher does? But the seeker feels that he is different from the guru. So through the knowledge, we are removing that difference. We are doing nothing. In that way, we are doing nothing. We are 100% clear. We are only removing that barrier of oneness, of equality, of yajna. Once that is gone, it is already here and now. You cannot say that it is not here. It is 100% here. What creates the barrier we have removed in the second and third chapter. And now we are going little deeper, little deeper. So what the master says, Krishna says, he reminds us, who is the ultimate guru? I have told you. I am not repeating. Ultimate guru is inside. But that ultimate guru in you is representing here. Why? That is why you are a seeker. And that is why we have a tradition. That is why we have a tradition for the last 10,000 years. So Krishna says, understand this tradition. Simple answer, simple explanation. You want to learn physics, you don't go to a geology class. Tradition. Traditions means what existed before, what has been taught before, what has been passing on continuously. Even if the theory of relativity is proved wrong, as it is happening in the future, and the students are learning, they will question how it is wrong. So first I have to understand what is the theory of relativity, then only I will understand how it is wrong. Same thing, ego is wrong, we are understanding. Seeking the fruits of an action is wrong. It's a wrong notion. So I have to drop it. Similarly, the Einstein theory of relativity, there is a 4-field theory it is coming, and that has converted into 1-field theory. So maybe in future that is proved wrong, but I have to understand it, how it is wrong, so that I can drop it. My mind is clear. That is why we have to study in parampara, in traditional wisdom. That is why the tradition is required. So what if I understand our true nature? That is going again, consciousness is using the brain. Now compare this with, do I love peace? Yes, I love peace. Peace is my nature. Now add something more. Do I love peace? It means I have a knowledge about love. I cannot have a knowledge about love if I am not conscious of love. So the consciousness is there, that is manifesting as a love. Do you see that? Do I love peace? Yes, I love peace. Why? Because it is my nature. That's why I love it. So how do I know peace? Yes. Do I know peace means what? I am conscious of peace. Isn't it? So when I am conscious of peace, without consciousness, how can I be conscious? Go back, sit there, allow the mind to sit there. Consciousness is pure, the absolute Satchidananda is there. Understanding is required, knowledge is required. You are a seeker, that's why I am talking in this so much logical way. First, Sasha, it's a long story, but that is what happens. So in that respect, I say Eastern wisdom, 6,000 years old, 3,000 texts, 3,000 teachers, hundreds of practices, hundreds of different ways to pass on this wisdom to the seekers, based on the temperament of an individual. There is only one difference between the scientific tradition and the Eastern wisdom. We discover subjective reality, real self, who I am. What is real self? Start thinking and becoming aware. When I say what is real self, I am the real self. I am. What is this I am? Pure consciousness. What is this pure consciousness? Satchidananda. It is independent of anything and everything in the world outside. Science discovers the objective reality that is constantly changing. Whatever is changing is always dependent. Brain is dependent on the mind, on the body, on the sense organ, on daily activities. It has become habitual. Consciousness does not become habitual. You might have suffered stress hundred of times. Consciousness does not say that now I am only talk about stress. Understanding, I have to become aware, that is all. We don't need any more thing. Removing the ignorance, we don't need an action. Action, opposite of action is inaction. Opposite of ignorance is knowledge.
Knowledge.
So how the knowledge should we get? From the tradition, from the principles and teachings of the Eastern wisdom. That is what we are doing. So science, the way the science does not accept any idea, new idea in the beginning. So the same way Eastern wisdom does not accept the craziness of our mind. From the craziness of the mind comes new ideas. In the same celebration, she is a doctor. She said, "Do you think that the human being is superior to the rest of the animals?" It is, based on the understanding of the Prakriti. But I should not have an ego. Why? It is the Prakriti that created me. I did not create myself so that I should have a big ego. So I have to study based on the principles of Eastern wisdom. Not talking of modern psychology, differentiating and building the ego that I am a great guy because I am a human being. And she looked at me and she said, I said, no, you have to start the journey from A, B. Don't ask me any question in the middle. You'll get a befitting reply. You see, relaxation. Ben, if I remember his name, Ben Johnson, for the last 40 years in Harvard University, he worked on relaxation, meditation, and mindfulness. You see that how even the scientists can attract the principles of Eastern wisdom. So he was doing research studies, thousands of people. He gave mindfulness, meditation, observing the physiological changes and neurochemical changes, neurophysiological changes. And I loved him. He says that the science has always been talking about stress response. You might have heard about it. Stress response, fight, fright, flight reaction. Either I escape from the danger, I fight with the danger, or I simply escape it. What he said, by the regular practice of meditation and mindfulness, there is a relaxation response instead of a stress response. So what will happen? The relaxation response will raise your self-awareness so that you can approach to a consciousness, to the real self behind the brain and the mind. But they limited themselves, so he came down again. Okay, it will help your blood pressure, it will manage your stress. It pertains to the body and the Prakriti. Because I am not in tune with the Prakriti. That is why I have these problems. See that? See the link. So we can understand, we can complement the science in understanding these principles of Eastern wisdom. Had I been in tune with the nature, will I have stress? Will I have anxiety? Will I have reaction? No. So first that scientist is a great scientist. He has gone about 40 years of his study. Herbert Benson, his Herbert Benson Institute. More than 2,000 research publications. Very well respected scientist. Only because of relaxation response. But the scientists feel it is helping blood pressure. It is helping, no doubt. No doubt, it is helping. We are not there. We are not seeking that. We have already tuned ourselves with the Prakriti. So we are not seeking stress management, anxiety management, depression, etc. We want to find out the real self. So in that way we has to understand both knowledge should complement each other. I'm laying a foundation. The moment we understand from the science or the Eastern wisdom, we should be very clear what I am searching. I am searching who am I. I am not searching the relaxation of the body and the mind. When I am already in tune with the nature, I am already relaxed. And I know 100% that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the brain. I want to find out any entity behind that. So my mind is now naturally focused. Why? Because the power of oneness, because the power of equality. Why? Because of yajna, because of nitya karma. When and where? 24 by 7. Whether I am going to the restroom, same body, mind, sense organ are working. Whether I am going for a business meeting, same organs are working. They belong to the Prakriti. So let me do what is required there. I should not do what is required in the restroom to do it in the business. Simple. That is the only thing. That is the only difference. Expression is different. Activities of the body, mind, sense organs. Does your eye say that, I have gone to the restroom and I am going for a business? Ask yourself, be very clear, loosen your mind. Why the mind is saying that I am going to the business and why I am going to the restroom? I must know the difference because I live at a higher level of self-awareness. So I have added value to a business than to a restroom. So it is the mind with the wrong notion. So let me remove that wrong notion. When I create so misunderstanding must be removed. And then you do the karma yoga. You will say every day is a state of meditation. Every day is a play and fun. Every day you are enjoying. Why? Last session, Atmarati, self-satisfaction. Now, Rati inside, Trapti inside, Tushti inside. Can you imagine the divine will is working now? What a beauty. That is why you see, I'm removing that doubt, I'm focused on that doubt only. That is why you see Sri Aurobindo was a great revolutionary. He declared, kill, get the Britishers out. He continued to remain a revolutionary while doing the yoga. In the end, he left everything. There is another guy, I think, who is still alive, Nisarg Dutt Maharaj.
He is not alive.
He is not alive. So he was a shopkeeper selling smokes.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Compare the profession. I compared it with going to the restroom. Kabir, weaver, stitching the clothes. Krishna, cowherd, taking the cows to the forest. That was his main profession. That's why he loved cheese and butter and milk. That's why he loved cows. He should have loved tiger or elephant. What is this profession? Raidas was a shoemaker. Great master. Raidas. Maitreyi was a wife of Yajnavalkya. So what we say in our country, that if the wife is not doing anything and taking care of the entire house, so her profession is homemaker. So Maitreyi was homemaker. Where is the problem? If a Nisarg Dutt Maharaj can be selling cigarette at the same time he can be awakened, what about me? At least you can compare through your intellect. You are doing much better. You have a much better business than his business. See that? What a beauty. So giving a tagline means adding value to your business created by the mind in delusion, creating a wrong notion. Don't do this. Knowledge is most important. You have asked a beautiful question, and that will make the clarity. You should continue to ask. So, this chapter does not reject the karma, the nitya karma, yajna, but at the same time it proves, it removes all the doubt. That was your first question. It removes all the doubt that karma can remove ignorance. It removes 100% doubt. The entire chapter is based on your vital question about the business. It goes subtler, 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 subtler. And ultimately, it helps you to reach to that clarity. So in the first, now the Krishna is saying, based on this clarity of understanding, he says that imperishable yoga, the knowledge that cannot be destroyed, that is yoga, the knowledge of yoga that cannot be destroyed. He says, Krishna says, I gave to sun god. From the sun god gave it to Manu. The Manu, we say, the first human being, and the first human being gave it to Ichwaku. It's a dynasty, solar dynasty, belongs to the Lord Rama. Now what he is saying, if you are not a seeker, you will question. That is, if you are a seeker, still you question, but you have a doubt. How you can give that knowledge thousands of years ago to these people when you are in front of me? Arjuna is asking this question. You are in front of me. So what I'm looking the body. I'm not looking the real self. But once I'm 100% clear that real self is ever present, independent, then only I can understand, yes, there is a possibility. You have a different bodies, and with the different bodies you have given this knowledge. So see that is what the tradition is, universal. Now see, there is another thing is that imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam. Vivasvan manave praha manu ichwakave abravit. Yes, it is the same thing. He says that I gave this knowledge to the sun god, god gave the knowledge to the Manu, and Manu gave the knowledge to the Ichwaku, the Lord Rama. First thing, when we become a seeker, we see that universal vision of the real self. So symbolically, he said, sun god. We will talk in detail. Sun god, it is the light of consciousness later. But until now, sun never rises, sun never sets. We think in our country, your country, my country, one part of the earth, but otherwise the sun never rises, sun never sets. So symbolically he uses, my Guruji used to say that it is symbolic expression that anything that never rises, that never sets is the knowledge, is the real self. When we are a seeker, we understand. Another part that is very important, and then Our intellect understands. Intellect says, you are there, I am here. So what is the reference point? Reference point is body. That is why location. So once the body is there, location is there, time is there, age is there, gender is there, color is there, height is there, room is there. Do you see that? The moment you see, I am located there, to whom you are referring? Are you referring to real self or to the body?
To the body.
To the body. So located in time, located in space, name and the form. When you have a name and the form, it has to be shape, size, gender, color. All the problem enters into my mind.
But if you say about the real self, though, that it means that nothing can be done or nothing can be received because everything is the same.
Let me live into the real self inside and do all my activities outside. That is why the karma yoga is given. So when I karma yoga, you are there, that's why I'm talking. How can I talk to emptiness? So it's a transactional reality. Absolute reality, real self. Transactional reality means applied reality. I am living into the same universe. When the Prakriti has divided and created millions of species, I have to be tuned with the Prakriti. The moment I am outside. Are you getting it? Two things. So my Guruji used to say, see that, what is your standpoint? Waves with reference to ocean. Waves with reference to ocean. I am a human being with reference to 7 billion people. Right? So wave in the ocean appears to exist, but they depend on water. Ocean appears big, wave appears small, but they both are dependent. See that? We are still crushing that ego. We are still crushing that I'm doing business, I'm going to the restroom. First standpoint. Second standpoint, wave with respect to other waves. I am one wave, you are other wave. Never say you are in ignorance. I should never say I am in knowledge. It has nothing to do with the mind. That knowledge of the real self is above both. Or I am rich, you are poor. You are rich, I am poor. You are man, I am women. You see that? Standpoint. So we are clearing the intellect. Wave with respect to the waves. Wave with reference to the ocean. Now wave in the ocean with reference to the water. 3 standpoint. So we instantly recognize when a people talk, okay, he's talking like this, I can give an answer. Because wave with reference to the ocean, wave with reference to the wave, wrong notion, wrong idea, dependent. You are not ready to discover the independent existence. Water is independent. Water in a glass, independent. Water in an ocean, water in a river. Water in the Niagara Fall. Water in the body, independent. What is your standpoint? That, master, triggers the mind. What is the real self? So now in the first say, your body with reference to my body. That is what I consider. This is I am and that is you are. I'm still living in ignorance. It is dependent. It is constantly changing. It is a part of the Prakriti. And then I am with reference to all the human beings. I still compare. I'm so small, you are so big. Or I'm so big, you are so small. Having $127 billion and still suffering. Still suffering, my friend. Bill Gates is still suffering. And still he is entering into another suffering. He is going to get married to another woman working in his office. I'm not happy with you, so I'll be happy with someone else. I'm doing the same thing. Now this I am has changed its entire perspective. I am the real self. Wave with reference to ocean, wave with reference to wave, and wave and ocean with reference to the real self. See that beauty. That is why our master says what? Our master Krishna says, I gave this knowledge to Sun God. Sun God gave this knowledge to Manu, the first human being, because only the human being can realize the real self. So we are not claiming that we are superior than other animals. It's a part of the Prakriti. What we should do? By default, by mistake, or you can say that I'm a human being. But even if I mistake I'm a human being, I should live with the self-awareness. And I should follow the Prakriti, to be in tune with the nature. As it is evolving from matter to plant kingdom to animal kingdom and ultimately to human, I have to become a superhuman. It's a part of the Prakriti. The moment you go down, you will suffer. So that is why you see sometime people married, they have kids. Now the husband doesn't like the wife, but the wife has lot of money, so he kills the wife and gets all the money. Tiger, the lion, kills the cubs produced by other lion to mate with the lioness. It's a fact. So that is why there are always a group of lioness, she lion, only one lion. So I go down and I follow what animals are following. What animals are following. See the entire scheme of the things Prakriti has created. Our masters have realized over doing lot of you can say contemplation, reflection, practices, reach to the real self, and once they reach to the real self, ultimately they realize this is the principle we have to follow.